This is an hour to give. This week we're featuring an organization that is near and dear to my heart, and that is Family Services Ottawa. We're going to kick off today with the one and only Elise Schipper. She's the Executive Director for Family Services Ottawa. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. Many people know Family Services Ottawa as FSO, which is kind of that hip acronym that we use. You've been around a very, very long time. FSO has. Walk me through a little bit of the history, Elise.
We've been around for more than 100 years.
Wow.
110 years this year, actually. Not always called Family Services Ottawa, but that's how everyone knows us now. It's been a long time. We've been FSO, Family Services Ottawa. Ottawa is really our neighborhood. And it was started for the same reason that we're here today, which is to help families address any of the challenges that are undermining their well-being. It's like, how do you create an organization around being just the best neighbor possible, being there to help root for you and support you and give you the access and the resources you need to be okay and to be well.
I got to know Family Service Ottawa a number of years ago, and the breadth of programs shocked me. I think a lot of people will be surprised today to hear that you're supporting individuals, families, seniors, and new moms too, which is a very passionate program I'm passionate about. So walk us through a little bit about that menu of experiences that happen at FSO.
Well, I think it's like any other challenge that you might come across. It's not a world you know until you need it.
True.
So, parents whose children are struggling with mental health challenges, they're dealing with all of the parenting challenges that normally come up. If mental health starts being something that they're worried about, you don't know what all the organizations are. You don't know what services to turn to or who to be asking for those kinds of things. It's only once you're really in it that you start to try to figure out, how do I navigate this? So I'm not surprised that people who haven't needed our services before maybe don't know the breadth of what we do. But as was with our initial vision, we're there to help families address any of the challenges that are undermining their well-being. So that can be a pretty big breadth of things. So family violence, mental health challenges, intense family conflict through separation or divorce, parenting challenges. We work with individuals, with couples, with families, with kids. We help parents connect with their kids better. It's all of those things that a family might find themselves having difficulty with, and they come to us and say, we want to be better, we need some help, I just don't want to feel so alone anymore. And we have so many different ways to work with them and help them.
I'm still looking for the parenting book. Is there a parenting book that answers all these questions? No, right?
Well, kind of, yes.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah,
Tell me.
I mean, not a book necessarily, right. But I think what we find with our parenting programs or with a lot of the work that we do with parents or families, people might come to us for a myriad of reasons, but we can sort of direct them to the supports within our organization that will best help them. Sometimes it comes down to some pretty simple answers around, this is what child development looks like, this is what is appropriate now, and what you can expect and how to work with that. Here's how to take care of yourself, here's how to reach out for support. I think it does come down to sort of a few simple answers, just to get the basics. And then you're right, there isn't a book that covers everything because there are these unique challenges that people have. But I think what's common among all of them is there is support, there is expertise. If you can't figure it out on your own, or if you want someone to hold your hand through it, you ask for help.
Right.
And we're there for you.
Right.
If I was to write a book, that would be it.
And I love that, because I think the bravest thing we can do is ask for help, and whether that be for addictions or parenting help or any other family issues that we might have going on, is to actually speak up and say, this has become unmanageable in our house.
Yeah.
How can we get past this? And what I know from people that have gone to Family Services Ottawa is they walked in very different people than when they walked out.
Yeah.
And I picture almost like this burden on their shoulders when they walk in, and there's lightness when they walk out. They're not going to solve everything, but it gives you the tools, right?
Yeah, and I think, the story for why someone comes in and what the incredible outcomes are for them when they leave will be a bit different. But if you can imagine that you're feeling overwhelmed, or you don't know what to do, or you have a really significant challenge. It could be family violence, it could be a loved one experiencing mental health challenges, it could be that you feel like you're just underwater. Imagine what it would feel like after spending even just 1 hour with one of our counselors, with someone who has literally spent years of their lives training to be the best possible person in that room with you to root for you, to support you, to get you everything you need, to hear you, and to say you're not in this alone. And there is one small thing we can do today,
Right.
and we'll keep going from there. Like, I feel better just hearing that,
Yes.
hearing that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
So I think it does sort of alleviate that burden on people's shoulders, even if you can't solve everything, and of course you can't in 1 hour. But to know that someone who has just been preparing for this moment to completely root for you and be there for you is, I think it's huge.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
the way you framed that. And I often think about communities really start at home. So we
Yeah.
think about, the house that you live in, the street you live in, the community you live in, and then we just grow from there, right? The city we live in, the region, etc. But when we have healthy families, we have healthy communities. And I learned that through FSO. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about what it means to not only help an individual family, but what that means the landscape of Ottawa in its totality.
So somehow, I don't know what the influence was, or if it's genetics or how that works, but I've grown up since I was a kid, having this really almost insatiable motivation to make this world feel like the best place possible for people, and to see where things could be better, and to see where I could help out or I could have impact somehow. And as I grew up, I thought, as a kid, I was like, I know I can make this huge difference. I'll end world hunger. Yeah. And as a teenager, felt much more, passionate about social justice issues. And then throughout my career, I've sort of been along the way in different places, helping in different ways, or trying to help in different ways, and trying to figure out, like, where is my access point? Where is my ability to actually make a difference? And everywhere I go, it kind of comes back to family as this foundational unit. If you can help strengthen a family, the ripple effects are just so massive. You have a strong families, you have strong communities. I think it's also an empowering way to think about, if I want this world to look a little bit better or brighter for my kids or for me, there's only so much I can do. What is my access point? It might be that you go and get support for yourself so that you're stronger, or that you go and get support for your family so that your family is stronger, and you can know that that's going to have a ripple effect. Or if your family is in a strong place right now, because everybody goes up and down, everybody has challenges, you can help by being part of FSO and contributing, donating, or volunteering so that other families have access to that. It just means everyone has a way to be part of making things better. And I think especially right now, and maybe it's always, but I feel it especially right now, the world feels very scary, and you want to do something, but you feel like, I don't even know where to start. You can always start with family, just supporting families. There's no way that can go wrong.
That's beautifully said. We're going to get a chance to chat with a lot of different people today, which is great.
Yeah.
We're going to be chatting with a couple of really dynamic people from Hosted Biz who love a big event we do every year called Music on a Mission.
Music on a Mission.
And it is such a fun event. We're going to get a chance to chat about that. So there are different ways people can give back to FSO as well through that fun event, but also through straight donations.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
Well, all of the work we do is supported by our community. We receive funding and grants and individual donations. Like most community organizations, we have to be incredibly scrappy and creative to make sure that we can be there for people when they need us. And so we really do rely on the community for their support to make that happen. I know, at least for me, in different periods of my life or at different times, I have extra capacity or some capacity to either give my time or give money to other causes, so I know that they can keep doing what I want them to do to be able to create this much brighter world that I see for people. And we need that from our community too. So it's possible to make, individual donations. We have people who donate, $10 every month, $300 every month, because they know the impact of our programs and they want them to keep going. Music on a Mission is almost too easy of a way to support us because it's an extremely fun night and it has a major impact on our ability to help people. So.
And it's a lot of fun. We're going to learn more about it a little bit later.
Yeah.
What do you want to share today for someone that maybe is thinking, okay, it's time. It's time that I reach out. I know people are asking, do I need a referral? How do I get to Family Services Ottawa? How do I pay for Family Services Ottawa? Give us sort of that Family Services Ottawa 101.
Yeah, just call. Just call, come to one of our walk-in clinics. Go to our website. You can schedule an opportunity to talk to someone to say, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I think I need, or I have no idea what I need. Can you have that first appointment with me? As a community-based organization, part of our mandate, part of how we see helping people is making it really easy and accessible. Think of us as the neighbor that you trust. And you can just come over and say, I just need a little help right now. I don't even know what for, really, to be honest. I just need someone to help me. And we'll figure it out. You don't have to know exactly what you need or who you need to talk to, just that you feel some kind of readiness or maybe some desperation, or you're not even sure, you want to think about it for the future. There's no harm in reaching out to us, and whoever is there is going to say, like, hi, I'm so glad you came. What do you want to talk about? How can we help you?
Very welcoming environment,
Yeah.
for sure, and I think it's really important to know you're located on Parkdale.
Yes.
And really easy to access, right near the Parkdale Food Market. I always think about your
Yes.
location as being close to that. And the website is a great opportunity as well. FamilyServicesOttawa.org
Yes.
is where you're going to find all of those details. So directing people to the website is a great opportunity as well. What will they find there?
Lots of information about our many, many different programs. As you talked about, you'll get to see a little bit about who's on our team. So the people that you know, who you can trust, who are there behind the scenes rooting for you. You'll be able to see testimonials from some of the clients we've worked with who've wanted to share with others how working with us has helped them not miss those precious moments in their family life that they were missing before, help them find their way. You can see our annual reports, everything you might want to check out before stepping in the door. Some people feel ready right away. Some people want to do their research first. Everything is there. But I still encourage people to just call. It makes a difference when you're talking to a real person on the phone. You can get that sense of comfort, that sense of this is what I need, and take it from there.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
Elise, thanks so much for joining us. You're going to
Thank
stay
you.
with us.
Okay, good.
Okay, Elise Schipper's going to stay. She's going to bring a friend with her from Family Services Ottawa. I know you're coming back. I'm Sam Laprade. Stay with us, everyone. We know that strong families build strong communities. Family Services Ottawa is our featured charity for this week on An Hour to Give, and I'm so happy to welcome back Elise Schipper, Executive Director, and she's brought a friend with her, Catherine Gummison, joining us as well, part of her team. Hello, Catherine, nice to see you.
Hello, nice to see you, Sam.
Tell me a little bit about your role.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am the Parenting Program Coordinator at Family Services Ottawa. So I help folks get connected with our huge variety of parenting programs. So parents will kind of reach out for support and sort of, go over what some of the challenges they are facing are, and I can let them know what we can provide.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I think we were talking earlier about, I remember I've got a daughter, she's 16 now, and every single stage has been beautiful, has been different, has had its own challenges.
Yes.
And I remember when she was a little baby, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be the big stage. This is the big stage. Now she's 16. This is the big stage, right? So it does change. And I think as people, we're also evolving as our kids are. How important is it that we also take care of ourselves? Because you said that in the last segment, and I really wanted to come back to that. Because I think often we think about parenting as just being about what's happening with the children, but we influence those kids so much. We need to take care of ourselves, Elise, right?
Yeah, I like to think of it as, and I didn't come up with this term, but as a parallel process. So your child is developing and they have their own needs, and you're developing as a parent too, and reflecting back on your own childhood and how that went and how people responded to you in similar moments and what might be going on for you in that time, and all of these dreams and desires of wanting to be the best parent or the most attentive parent or the whatever it is, these ideas that people come in with. Yeah. You don't have to do it alone, and it doesn't have to be that hard. And it's so, you hear people say self-care, take time for yourself, and you're like, that's something for other people when I have time later. But when you get some good support and coaching, and Catherine and her team can really talk more about that, it can make a really huge difference for a pretty minor investment of time and energy.
So important.
Yeah.
And I so wish, during the pandemic, a lot of truth bombs today. Are you ready for them? So during the pandemic, my daughter was about 12. I don't know if you've met any 12-year-old girls in your lifetime. I know I was one. And she was lovely. But it was the pandemic, and it was hard, and I'm a single mom. So one time, I hid in my walk-in closet. I needed 20 minutes to myself. And I think those moments is when you think, do I need to reach out and maybe just talk through something with someone? This is what we're talking about, right? People can reach out to Family Services Ottawa.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the example you used, because you were taking a time in for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And those, we're talking about like self-care for parents, and those are behaviors and skills that are super important to also model for our children, right? They're learning from us how to deal with like these big emotions and the peaks and valleys of life. They learn from us how to navigate, and so it's all connected, right? Parents are coming to us. They're learning how to do this. They're learning how to look at their children's behavior with like a little bit more empathy, a little bit more understanding, and looking for like the meaning behind it, right? Because that's one of the most important pieces that we really teach is, those really challenging behaviors. We have a choice. We can choose to, internalize it. So that would look like thinking, oh, I'm not a capable parent. We can choose to personalize it. That might be something like they're doing this to tick me off, right? Or we have a decision where we can choose to think, what's the need here? What is this behavior communicating? Are they feeling really stressed? Are they feeling overwhelmed? Are they hungry? Do they need a nap? Right? And so we're building empathy for these challenging behaviors, and just giving parents a new way to kind of look at those behaviors and feel more connected and attached to their kids.
I think every parent needs to hear that last 45 seconds about an hour after they give birth. That would really be helpful for me. That would have been helpful for me. But once again, and so often, certainly in my generation, I'm 53, we didn't talk about this kind of stuff. What happened in the house stayed in the house. Nobody talked about it. Kid was upset, mom was upset. We wouldn't talk to neighbors about it. Those things are changing, thank heavens, that we talk about mental health, we talk about all these things, and that's how FSO has evolved over the years. We go back 110 years to today. The change is real, that we want to have these conversations, take them outside of the home, so that the home is actually a happier place. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about FSO and kind of how it has evolved in that way.
Well, I think lots of things have changed, not just how we talk about or who we talk about what we're struggling with. But you might have had more than one generation in a home previously. You might have had more parents around or aunts and uncles around. You might have been more involved with a religious organization, for example. You might have had, clergy that you spoke with. Or there are things we just didn't know about. So, of course, we evolved. I mean, we've evolved in so many ways. Even just, the pandemic is the thing that everyone keeps coming back to, but we had to evolve really fast and go from fully in person to fully virtual, and now we're back to hybrid, so we can see people a multitude of ways. But I think it's a beautiful evolution in that family, and we talk about family being the foundation. Family is what makes strong communities, but family can be your chosen family, your birth family. There's lots of ways to define family, so you can kind of include the people who support you, the people who you become to really trust and work with at FSO as part of your family, your circle of support. So I think it's similar in that you kind of turn to your family for these things, but now we define family a little bit differently. And there are lots of good outcomes from how we define family differently. One of them is that we get to be part of that team that supports you.
I love that. And I think so often, we're watching TV and we think, oh, I want to be that kind of mom, or I want to be that kind of mom, and everything looks all rosy. Walk me through when somebody comes to you, what are some of those initial questions that you hear from people?
For sure. I mean, they want to know, parents are stretched thin for time, right? So they want to know, what am I going to gain, from coming to this program? And so that's kind of always like a conversation. And really, I think another huge benefit to our parenting programs is just this ability to connect with other folks. And Elise sort of touched on, community is, we really have to work at building it now. It's not so evident nowadays, right? We really have to work to create that village and create that community. But our parenting groups provide an opportunity to come together and talk about the challenges of parenting. We always have lots of opportunities to talk about, all the great things our kids are doing, and all the fun things that, are going on with our family. But we have less opportunities to talk about, what's been challenging, what's hard. And it's such an empowering experience for parents to feel like their struggles are normalized. Like, okay, I'm not the only one who can't seem to put my kid to bed. Or I'm not the only one who's getting into like a screaming match with my 16-year-old, right? Very empowering and therapeutic experience to just be like, I'm not alone in this. Yeah.
And there's no two ways about it. The world has changed a lot. And, families are dealing with maybe somebody that's decided they're part of the LGBTQ community, and that's maybe challenging to navigate. And, there's all sorts of things that are evolving. So, and the social media, I think about if there was social media when I was a teenager, it would not have been pretty, right? So we think about how those things are affecting the family life. You've really taken this on at FSO as well to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. Lots of different programs as well. I think about Around the Rainbow as one.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned it, and I know it's one you know a lot about, and you've helped us share the message about before. It's a great part of what we do, our Around the Rainbow programs, where we work with the 2S LGBTQI+ community in a number of different ways. We work with kids, we work with parents of kids who are curious or who are exploring or who are struggling. We work with families all together. There's a bunch of different programs that we have, but what we hear consistently from the families who are part of our Around the Rainbow programming is that they're so happy to have found the space where nobody's asking questions like, what do you mean you have two dads of their kids? Or nobody's feeling like out or isolated. People are feeling connected. They feel safe. They have an opportunity to ask questions, to explore things. There's a group that we have that's for 7 to 12-year-olds, and I get to hear about the activities every week, and so I love getting the update. And sometimes they're figuring out how to explore their identity by making slime. For example, you never know what it is what way you can go about creating these sort of learning opportunities, these teachable moments. But it's a really, really amazing program that we just get unbelievable feedback from the community about. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. And the creativity of these programs, how important is that, Catherine?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always wanting to stay relevant, right? Certainly in parenting programs, and we weren't learning about, screen time and, social media and safety for kids, right? Yeah. So it's so important to stay current and engaged and, up on the research as well, right? We talked earlier about a parenting manual. Yeah. We always have to go back to, our research and making sure what we're sharing and what we're learning about is relevant, right? Yeah.
And I just think about the safety of home. When the pandemic hit, very much it was, go home and be safe, where home wasn't safe for everyone. How important is it if there's violence in the home, Elise, for there to be action taken very, very quickly?
I don't even know how to express how important that is and also how difficult that is. There's so many factors to consider around safety and confidentiality and protecting emotional safety and physical safety. And finding ways for a family to move forward that is going to address the trauma and the fear and the opportunity they have to grow and learn different ways of being. I know some of the parents who come to us saying, I need help. I need help. There's violence in the home. They're not just thinking about their immediate safety. That's something we have to start with. But also, how is my child going to learn how to not then have violence in their family when they grow up? How do I help them heal from this situation? How do I help give them a sense of safety that they carry with them for the rest of their lives? How do I recover from this once I'm out of the sort of urgent emergency state, this crisis trauma state? There's so many considerations. Our gender-based violence and anti-violence programs are something that have also been, almost since the very beginning of FSO. And have, in our history, we've sort of spurned some other programs in the city that came out of FSO's work. But it's a big piece of what we do, and we have counselors who specialize in working with these families, specialized programs to help families who are going through really high conflict situations, counselors who specialize in working with the kids who have witnessed violence, and other people who are helping with the transition out of unsafe homes. There's a lot that goes into it, yeah.
It's really impressive. I love spending time with both of you. You're going to come back in a little bit, but thank you so much, Catherine, as well, for sharing all of your experience as well with FSO. Today is all about FSO with Elise Schipper and Catherine Gummison joining us. When we come back, Holly and Shannon are going to be here, and we're going to have, well, a little fun. Stay with us on An Hour to Give. I'm Sam Laprade, and we're back with An Hour to Give. This week we're featuring Family Services Ottawa, an organization that I have told you over and over again is near and dear to my heart. And an event that they do is a lot of fun as well, and it's called Music on a Mission. And it is a hoot. And I know that you two know that. Shannon Peck and, of course, Holly Butcher, both here from Hosted Biz, presenting sponsor of this amazing event. This year was pretty cool. I was there. I should say this year. I should say last year. Yeah. 2023's event was absolutely incredible. And tell us a little bit about Music on a Mission and how you got involved.
So I joined Hosted Biz just over a year ago now, so I was lucky enough to join just before last year's event. So we kind of jump into it full 2 feet in, and we always have a great time. The staff are always so excited for the event every year, so we kind of gather the crowds and get a couple tables right in the front, and turns into a bit of a office competition as well, team against team. So yeah, it's fantastic. We absolutely love attending the event and are happy this is going on just over 5 years, I think, of being the title sponsor. So we're looking forward to another year this year.
It's so exciting, and what I love about it, Shannon, is that this event really brings the community together. So over 300 people last year at the Hellenic Center, and the trivia is not easy trivia. It's not like, you know, who sang Jump. Right? We all know it's Van Halen, right? We all know it's Van Halen. But this is really detailed trivia, and people get really into it, right?
Yeah, I think the one thing that we love the most about this event is that we're supporting the community, which is a bonus. And we also turn it into an organization event. So we're able to kind of disconnect from what we normally do at work, because, you know, in technology can be really busy. And we kind of just have a night where we can focus on having a good time. And then if we're lucky, sometimes, because, you know, you can purchase tables, right? So each organization has a table. And if we're lucky, sometimes there'll be like a nice, friendly competitor who will show up, and so we can kind of do it that way. But yeah, it's a whole lot of fun.
It's a whole lot of fun. And Jen Greer and Al Greer have been doing the actual trivia for over 23 years. And I had a chance to meet them, and they are so into this. Like, they spend, I can't even tell you, like hundreds of hours pulling this trivia together, and then all of the categories, of course, play out through the night. I got to tell you, I wasn't very good at it, Holly, but I had so much fun. But there are typically, because you were talking about the fact there's lots of tables, you have people that are really good at it, and then the people that kind of come along for the pizza and the party, right?
Oh, yeah. There's one table, I think what do they call themselves, the Muse or something along those lines, and they are the one that everyone points out when we get there, because we've been doing, like I said, the event for so many years now. They've been there every year, and they always seem to take the title, so it's always this, you know, just out of grasp, and it is a fantastic event. The announcers do a fantastic job. They're so interactive with the crowd, get everyone going. In years past, it's always a little close to Halloween, so in years past we've always dressed up. Last year was a little bit further on, so we didn't get that chance, but it's back this year, so I'm hoping to see lots of tables with their group costume and stuff like that, and try to get people in the office are always a bit hesitant when I tell them to put a costume on, but hopefully this year we can really push a few to get in the spirit and come out dressed up, and it just builds the atmosphere so much more, and go around to each table and see who everyone's dressed up as, and it is just such a blast all the way through.
And this year, October 25th at the Hellenic Center, so as you mentioned, just before Halloween, so you can get dressed up and have a lot of fun. The Hellenic Center, free parking, easy to get to. It's a great venue as well that FSO has chosen. That night, I know you're already preparing, even though we're months out, from a Hosted Biz perspective, because as the presenting sponsor, you want it to be a great night too.
Not only as the presenting sponsor, we just usually have a great night.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I know we already
exactly.
started planning our table names and our
I
team
love that.
names. Yeah, and we're hoping, so we have a large network of partners as well, and some of them are in the area, so we're hoping that they will come along with us and grab a table, because I think that the camaraderie would be really great. So we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, we're pretty excited. And I know we're months out, but I'm already starting to think about Halloween, because I think about it all year round.
That's great.
So yeah, so it's going to be good. And we need to figure out who this Muse table is, because we're coming after them this year.
I like them
And
down.
they're looking at the
Totally
segment, I'm
They're
like,
watching.
coming after you. So, yeah,
I love it.
but,
And all for mental health. I mean, the bottom line is we're reminded that night, even though it's a fun event, lots of silent auction and some live auction items, and lots of fun. But we're reminded that night it's for mental health through Family Services Ottawa. How important is it for Hosted Biz to be part of an event that gives back to the community in such a meaningful way?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Elise and Katrina, I believe her name was.
Catherine, yeah.
Catherine, sorry about that. Did a fantastic job just iterating how much family services do for the community. I think a huge point they touched on is, it's hard to have a jumping point on how to get involved in something like Family Services Ottawa, where it starts in someone's home and kind of builds out to the community, is such an amazing notion. It's just starting with what feels like something small but is so big for a family that trickles onto the community. So I think as Hosted Biz, we love to get involved with this event because it affects our immediate community, and we can see how much positive it does. And like you said, there's so many ways that night to donate money, whether it's silent auction. They take donations for the balloons every year. There's ways that you can sign up to be giving every month, which is fantastic. And it really it stays in Ottawa. It does so much, and just the trickle effect of it is outstanding.
Yeah, it's spectacular. And I think the opportunity to have a bit of a casual night. There are lots of galas in this town. Believe me, my closet's full of all these gala dresses. But I got to tell you, you know what I wore last year? Jeans and a blouse, and it was like easygoing, and it was kind of it's more of an informal night. Delicious pizza by Gabriel's. They do a great job of supplying pizza. So it's more of a casual night, and I don't know about you, but I really liked that aspect.
Yeah, so we love that it's not stuffy. There are a lot of corporate events out there that I feel like some organizations may not sign up for just because they feel like they're unattainable or maybe won't suit their crew. But I know, dear to you, that every single employee at Hosted Biz, this is something that we would want to actually do. We've been to a few different types of events, but this one is probably one of the most fun that we've been at. And we love that there's a lot of different organizations as well, so you kind of get to see a lot of people from the community, and it's in like a really great, easygoing environment. So.
I don't know if you remember, last year there were some firefighters there, Holly. Do you remember?
Maybe.
I remember too. So there was an auction item there for firefighters to come and cook at your home, and there was just really interesting auction items, lots of silent auction items. I think last year there was over 100 items last year, and then lots of fun ways for people to get involved. Giant Tiger was involved last year, the Ottawa Senators. It really is an event that really does bring the whole community together.
Truly, yeah. Yeah, we're expecting some really great auction items this year. We've already started going out to local businesses and seeing what they can help out with, and the trickle of stuff coming in is pretty exciting. So we're really hoping for some good silent auction stuff this year. So.
And if somebody wanted to reach out, they could reach out to FSO,
Absolutely.
right?
We're always looking for more silent auction. That's also a great way to give if you're a business owner or operator. Not necessarily, giving cash or anything like that, but giving a service or a gift card, anything like that is a great way to give back, because the higher we can build that silent auction item up and get people a purchase for, then that is all going directly to FSO. And yeah, we're really excited for some of the items. Like, I've seen a few that are coming in, and I'm thinking, I'm going to bid on that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that we're also asking our community and our partners and our customers if they have anything that they want to donate for the silent auction.
Right.
We'll also bring it forth to FSO and make sure that that's in there, and then we'll represent them. So
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's great. So we are very excited.
How important is it from a Hosted Biz culture perspective? We think about going to work every day, but having an organization that is near and dear to the hearts of people at Hosted Biz in terms of FSO. How key is it for the culture, Shannon?
So I've been with Hosted Biz for 5 years now, and I can tell you I haven't worked for a company that is more focused on community than they are. So every single time, I don't know how many times a year we get a request, put this messaging together, we're supporting another charity. And it's not just, for the advertising opportunity. I think that a lot of the things that we do and a lot of things that I've seen, the co-founders do, it's all out of the goodness of being able to be in a position where you can support the community the way you do. Even down to what we do with our old laptops when we recycle them, we make sure that they end up in the hands of kids who need them. So there's all kinds of stuff like that, but it's just ingrained in everything we do, and it's a really great team, and there's a lot of support. So it's, when we're running stuff like this, I think it's just I don't know how many times I can say it's great. It's great, but no, it's fantastic. Yeah. So it's definitely.
And you two have no fun, right? No, yeah.
It's not.
Always
I can tell. But I think it's great to bring your energy as well to the event, and just that fresh perspective of getting organized this early for a big event like that. It takes a lot of effort. I know FSO is really grateful for how invested Hosted Biz is on the big event. So we'll give a few details again. October 25th is the big day. You're getting ready for that. The Hellenic Center, easy to get to. I always love it because there was a few people last year, which I thought was really smart. They just Ubered there. They wanted to have a few pops, if you will, and they just Ubered there, which is really nice and close to their house. So that was really great too. And then of course all supportive of FS. So what else would you want to share about the event to inspire someone to be a part of it, Holly?
Oh goodness, I just can't stress enough how fun it is. Like you said, it's an easygoing environment. It works for teens all the way up to adults. There's such a mix of ages and stuff like that there. You really can't go wrong. If you think the music is going to be out of your genre, believe me, there's music out of everyone's genre.
It's
so
true.
It really gets the teamwork going, because these are groups of 10 or 8 to 10, I believe most of the tables end up being. So you end up collaborating with your team, and you just kind of hope that one of you knows that genre. And no, it's a great event. I encourage anyone who can to get involved in any way they can, whether it's attending the event or donating to the silent auction or just donating in general. You will not be disappointed if you end up at the event. It is a good time.
And I do want to make sure people know that it sells out. So this is not like, you can't kind of wait till October 24th. It sells out. It sells out early. There's tables of 10, of course, like you mentioned. And I think this year we're sort of gutting for about 300, 320 people. So I think it's that type of environment where it's not too big. You still get to hang out and be with the other tables and all of that good stuff. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be there. Is that okay?
Yeah,
I'm going to come.
See you there.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Shannon Peck and Holly Butcher, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it very much.
Thank you.
You're going to want to be there as well. Family Services Ottawa is hosting Music on a Mission. All the information is on their website, so head there now so you're not disappointed and you get to play some great music trivia with lots of people in the community. When we come back, Elise Schipper is going to join us again. She's the Executive Director for Family Services Ottawa. Come on back to An Hour to Give. And we're back on An Hour to Give. I'm Sam Laprade, and who else is back? Elise Schipper's back. She is the Executive Director for Family Services Ottawa. Hello, my friend.
Hi.
What a show today. So we've learned lots about FSO. We got inspired about Music on a Mission, which of course is coming up very soon. October 25th is the big day. I know you wanted to speak to us now because this does sell out, this event. So you wanted to inspire people to be a part of it. Pride Month, of course, this month, very important for you as well. Talk to me a little bit about, I've already seen some of the messaging on social media from Family Services Ottawa. What does this month mean to FSO?
Well, it's an exciting month for us to be able to really connect with the community more about how we are there for them, how we work with them, how we are so proud to have been a place and continue to be a place where families feel really comfortable and really supported and like we really have their back. So we get to have a bit of fun this month too, and celebrating with people We have some really great public education programs where we work with organizations, we work with companies to help them understand what a more inclusive work environment would be like, how they can be there for their staff, for their clients. I think most people want to do better. They want to know more, and it's a great thing that we're able to help them with. They learn a lot. We have med students who come and work with us and learn how they can be better doctors, be better with their patients, be more inclusive, just be loving and welcoming and supportive to anyone who wouldn't want to learn that and learn some new tricks. So it's a good month for us to just get to lean in even more than we do all year round, to the festivities, to the knowledge building, to the support giving. We're happy to be part of it.
It's wonderful, and I know I encourage everyone to follow you on social media as well,
Yeah.
because there's some really important messages there, and I think often life can just get really busy and we forget to sort of think about our family, think about ourselves. How can we get those tools that you talk about, those learning moments?
Yeah.
So I encourage everyone to follow you on social media. I was thinking as we were preparing today that this organization has been through 2 pandemics. And I know I look old enough to look like I've been through 2
come on.
pandemics. But my point being is that this organization has really spanned a very big, not only length of time in the city, but you've helped a lot of people in this city
Yeah.
become stronger families. Does it ever really, do you ever sort of pause as the executive director and think about the impact that this organization's had?
It sounds cheesy, but I really do get chills about it sometimes, especially when I'm arriving or I'm looking down the hall and just thinking about the history. The other day, we just had this big project of digitizing, years of program information and resources that we had so that we can keep learning from things we've already learned. And I found annual reports and donation appeals from like 1918, 1923, which were really fun to look at. But also, as we do our strategic planning or we talk about, what should our priorities really be, there's so much the same as what we saw in those early years. In the 1918 annual report, I was talking about making sure we are supporting people from all backgrounds, from all walks of life, who we come in and we offer them love and support no matter who they are. I mean, that's a message that has gained a lot of traction recently, not just with us, but everywhere. But these are the things that FSO was talking about 110 years ago.
Wow.
So I do think it's amazing. Like, Ottawa's really our neighborhood. We've grown up here. These are our people. We have people who've worked with us for 30 years, who have been counseling people for 30 years. Board members who worked with us years ago who come up and say, FSO is still a big part of my heart. And I think we're a pillar of the Ottawa community. I feel very lucky that I get to be part of it. Also a huge responsibility to really, continue that legacy and carry it forward. I think it's something Ottawa can feel really proud of.
Absolutely, I agree
Yeah.
100%, and I think it's so important that we sort of pause to reflect on the history. Let's think forward. Where do you see FSO in 5 years, in a decade from now? What conversations will happen over the next decade?
Well, I think the community will let us know as we go what those conversations could be. I know that FSO is here to stay. I don't think our mission or our mandate or our vision will really change. It's every time we revisit to say, does this still make sense? It rings true that you strengthen families, you strengthen communities, that there will always be challenges that undermine a family's well-being, and that we can be responsive to them. We've shown that we can innovate and we can learn and we can pivot, and that we can be there for families the way that they need us to. So I think we'll keep doing that. Every dream, I think, for a nonprofit like ours is that we won't be limited by our funding resources in terms of how much of an impact we can have. I would love to be able to say in 5 years, I would love to be able to say tomorrow, we have the resources we need so that anybody who needs help can get the best quality care the most amazing support that they need so that they can really thrive. They can rise above the challenges that they're facing. So, I mean, that would really be the dream. And that all the people that are working with us now are still with us.
Right.
And have grown and have learned new skills, and the people who have benefited from our program stay in touch and tell us what's happening with them and maybe come back and volunteer. Like it's an amazing community to be part of. So I'm excited just in 5 years to still be part of it and to see where all of the people that we've worked with have gone and done with their lives.
That's beautiful. I think
Yeah.
it's one of those things where once you get sort of involved in FSO, whether it's volunteering, attending an event, it does become part of your DNA. You know, we
Yeah.
heard from Hosted Biz as well. They've been around a long time. They want to keep
Aren't they
doing this
awesome?
event. They're so good. They're so excited about this event, and I think they should be. I mean,
Yeah.
Music on a Mission last year, I saw you doing a little bit of dancing. Was that you?
I couldn't help it.
Yeah, I know, it's so much fun. And I think seeing, you know, whether it be 30, 32 tables, whatever it is, of people there celebrating. When I walked around just kind of, you know, hanging out, I saw Algonquin College there. I saw, you know, different corporate tables there. And then I saw just friends getting together.
Yeah.
So it really allows for all of that.
It's a great night out, a great night for a team to have a night together that's outside of the office, and for team building, for friends to come together. I love Holly and Shannon's idea of a little healthy competition
Yes.
between, you know, peers, and I hope to see some of their maybe competitors or their colleagues in the industry there too. It's an extremely fun night, and guilt-free if you feel guilt about self-care or having a night out, because you're creating such an amazing impact for the community. For people who don't know about it yet, they're missing out. I hope we get to see them there this year. It's an extremely fun night.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a hoot for sure. So let me ask you this: you've got obviously a dedicated board of directors. You have your
Yeah.
staff team. So you've got this core group that are making sure FSO is always cared for. What else do you need? I mean, other than financial donations, are you looking for volunteers? I know volunteers are always needed at Music on a Mission. But what
Yeah.
else do you need? What's the call today to action?
I think, and I know I touched on this a little bit earlier, that I want people to know that they are empowered to make the change that they want to see. And I know that sounds lofty, but there's such an opportunity to have an impact on making things a little bit better for yourself, for your family, for the community, for the world. You either reach out for help because you could use some, reach out for help because your family needs some help getting a bit stronger, they're going through a tough time. Reach out to FSO and donate, or sign up for a table at Music on a Mission, or become a sponsor, so that any family who needs it can get the help that they need. All of those have such a huge impact. So wherever you're at, whether it's you need help, you're in a position where you can help others, maybe you can do both. We have lots of families who do both. Just get involved. It's very empowering. It does move the needle. It makes an impact. We would love for you to be part of the FSO community. It's a really good one to be in. It feels good.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I know Giant Tiger stepped up the last number of years, and they did a matching gift opportunity. So people donated, and they matched, I
Yeah.
think it was up to $20,000. That has made an impact over the last number of years as well. Because when I think about Giant Tiger, I think about family.
Yeah.
And then I think, well, Family Services Ottawa. It makes sense that they came to the
It
table.
makes so much sense, yeah. It's amazing the support they've given us, amazing the support Hosted Biz has given us. I mean, I know there's a lot of different ways that they could have gone. There are a lot of different needs in the community, and that they saw the impact that we have, that they trust us, that they know that we're going to deliver on the promises that we're making and that they want to make to their community, means a lot to us. And the impact is massive. I mean, I know they know that, because we tell them all the time, like, what you have done for us and for the families who come see us is huge. We're so grateful. And how fun are Holly and Shannon? Like, I don't have to say anything about how fun Music on a Mission is. Just go where they tell you to go.
Exactly.
Obviously, it's going to be a good
and
time.
they're gonna have fun
Yeah.
for sure. And you mentioned the word trust, which I think is a really nice way for us to sort of end our chat today.
Yeah.
Is that it really is. You've built this trust over 100 years.
Yeah.
And the trust is there. I've had people come up to me and said, "Oh, I saw you were at Music on a Mission, and I went there when my daughter was going through some challenges." That trust is ingrained in people.
Yeah.
How important is that for the community to know that they can trust every single person that works at FSO with those, those moments that they're going to share about their own life?
I think it's everything. I mean, it's the starting point. And we know that as sort of practitioners in the space, that you start with trust and safety. And there's so many ways that you do that in terms of how you're accessible, how you recognize people, how you validate people, how people who come to our organization see themselves in the people who are there or in the way that we communicate. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this very intentionally so that people know that they can trust us, but also they can look at our track record. I mean, anyone can go online and Google, I need help. Where should I go? And you'll get a long list of options. But knowing that we've been around for 100 years, we have a team who is keeping up on the best practices, that we have regular supervision, that we have experts in the field. We're making sure that the quality of the care we provide is what we would want for our own kids and our own family. And I think that's everything.
I love that.
Yeah.
FamilyServicesOttawa.org is the
Yeah.
website, so lots of great information there. We just have about a minute left, but I know you've been with this organization coming on to a year.
Yeah.
How special has this last year been for you?
I'm pinching myself a little bit. I'm not the only person there who sort of dreamed or imagined or wished that one day they would get to work at FSO. I mean, it has that reputation as being a pillar, as being a place where if you are in the space and you're wanting to make change, you can really do it there. It has this bit of a sort of grassroots social justice energy to it where everybody who's on the team is like, if there's a challenge, if there's something we can do, we're going to do it. We're going to find a way. And it's very empowering and very meaningful work to do. I mean, you know what it's like once you have a kid. You have to make a decision every morning. I'm choosing to go somewhere instead of being with my child, so it's going to have to be something that is meaningful.
True.
And you have certainly done that in your career. And I get to do that in mine, and I'm grateful for that.
Beautifully said. Thank you,
Yeah.
Elise.
Thank
Appreciate it
you.
very much. Elise Schipper, of course, is the Executive Director, very proud Executive Director of Family Services Ottawa. Thanks to all of our guests today for joining us, Catherine and Holly and Shannon and, of course, Elise. I hope you've learned a lot about Family Services Ottawa today and that you reach out to them. This has been An Hour to Give, and I'm Sam Laprade. Until next time.